It began the way most accidents do, quietly, without warning, and without any idea of the damage it would leave behind. The call came at 11:47 p.m. She had been half asleep, her phone vibrating against the wooden side table beside her bed. The room was dim, curtains half open, the city lights of Karachi flickering like distant stars. She reached for the phone with sleepy fingers, expecting nothing more than silence or a dropped call. "Hello?" she said softly. There was a pause on the other end, then a man's voice, low, calm, unfamiliar. "I'm sorry, I think I dialed the wrong number." She almost hung up. Almost. But something in his voice made her pause. There was warmth there, confidence, a gentleness that felt deliberate, not rehearsed. "It's okay," she replied. "It happens." Another pause, then a quiet laugh. "Well, since I've already disturbed your sleep, can I at least apologize properly?" She smiled despite herself. That night, they spoke for 7 minutes. The next night, the phone rang again. Same number, same hour, and the night after that. At first, it was innocent, casual, two strangers sharing fragments of their lives with no faces attached. She learned that he traveled often, stayed in hotels more than homes, lived a life surrounded by meetings and money, but strangely empty of connection. He learned that she worked long hours, returned to a quiet apartment, and filled the silence with books and late-night tea. They never planned the calls. They just happened. But slowly, something shifted. 7 minutes became 20. 20 became an hour. And silence between calls began to feel heavy. Voices before faces. She started waiting for the sound of his call the way some people wait for sunrise. There was comfort in the anonymity, no expectations, no judgments, just voices meeting in the dark. "You have a dangerous way of listening," he once told her. She laughed. "How can listening be dangerous?" "Because you make people forget they were ever alone." She didn't reply immediately. Her fingers traced the rim of her teacup, warmth seeping into her skin. "And you," she said finally, "sound like someone who hides behind confidence." There was a long silence. Then, softly, "Maybe I do." Those moments, the pauses, the breaths, the unspoken words became more powerful than anything said aloud. Weeks passed, then months. They spoke about dreams, regrets, childhood memories, and the strange ache of wanting something unnamed. They avoided words like love, but they danced around it carefully, like fire. Until one night, he said, "We should meet." Her heart stuttered. The first meeting. She insisted on bringing her best friend with her. Safety, she said, logic, a buffer between fantasy and reality. The cafe was elegant and quiet, all glass and golden light. When he walked in, time seemed to hesitate. He was taller than she imagined, impeccably dressed, calm in the way only wealthy men who never doubt their place in the world are calm. His eyes met hers, and recognition passed between them like electricity. "So, you're real," he smiled nervously. She laughed nervously. "You're too." Her friend watched closely from across the table, silent, observant. Where she saw kindness and charm, her friend saw something else, opportunity. Over the next few weeks, meetings followed. Lunches, coffee, long walks, soft laughter, gentle touches that lingered just a second too long. Love, real and fragile, began to take shape. But while her heart opened slowly, her friend's interest ignited fast and fierce. The shift. It happened quietly. A saved number, a late-night message, a reply that came too quickly. Her friend was different with him, bolder, sharper, unapologetic. She didn't talk about dreams, she talked about pleasure. She didn't ask about feelings, she created moments. The first hotel meeting was framed as harmless. "Just a drink," she said. "He invited me too." The hotel room glowed with city lights and soft music. Glasses clinked, laughter spilled easily. The air smelled of expensive cologne and wine. She moved through the space like she belonged there, heels clicking, perfume lingering, eyes confident. She sat closer than necessary, touched his arm while laughing, leaned in to whisper things meant only for him. The woman who had fallen in love watched it all unfold, unease twisting in her chest. Later, her friend stayed behind. Late nights, bright rooms. After that, weekends disappeared. Luxurious hotels, soft beds, curtains drawn against the morning sun, conversations that began with laughter and ended in breathless silences. They drank, they talked, they crossed lines without naming them. With her friend, he felt desired in a way that was immediate and intoxicating. There were no questions about the future, no vulnerability, just the present moment, vivid and consuming. With the woman who loved him, there were emotions, depth, truth. And in his weakness, he chose escape over honesty. The calls grew shorter, replies delayed, excuses stacked upon excuses. Until one night, the phone didn't ring at all. The absence. She waited. 1 hour. 2. By morning, the truth surfaced in fragments. A social media post, a familiar hotel lobby in the background, a laugh she recognized, but it wasn't hers. Her friend was gone. So was he. No goodbye, no explanation, just absence. Aftermath. She stood by her window that night, city lights blurred by unshed tears. The same phone rested silently in her hand, the device that had once carried a voice she loved. She thought of the wrong call, how something so accidental had felt so right, how easily it had all slipped away. Some loves don't end with closure. They end with silence. And sometimes the wrong call doesn't connect you to the wrong person. It connects you to the truth about people, desire, and the fragile line between love and loss. She turned off the phone, and for the first time in months, embraced the quiet.